morning. I'm here to talk to you about an upcoming community forum that the Niagara County Department of Health will be holding on Monday, September 28th from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. at the Niagara County Community College, room E140. The purpose of this community forum will be to update the public on the plans for mass vaccination clinics through the Niagara County Department of Health. We'll be educating the public on the difference between swine flu and H1N1. We'll also be updating the public on our plans for mass vaccination clinics. First of all, we'll be talking about the priority groups that will be receiving the mass vaccinations. There are 5 priority groups we'll be dealing with first. The first priority group is the pregnant women. Second priority group will be children aged 6 months to 24 years of age. The third priority group will be first responders. Then we'll be dealing with healthcare workers, and finally people with compromised immune systems. These are the groups that are most susceptible to the H1N1 virus. So we'll be focusing on those groups first. Once those groups are inoculated, we'll be starting with mass vaccination clinics for the public, for the community. And we figured this would be a perfect opportunity to educate the public on where we are, what our plans are, what the difference is between the seasonal flu and H1N1, vaccines and who should get them, how do we do it, how are we going to go about the process of vaccinating 220,000 people throughout our communities, and using the schools as mass vaccination clinics. Right now we're in discussions with superintendents of local school districts, and they're a key part of the people involved in the pre-planning for these mass vaccination clinics. The purpose of the mass vaccination clinics would be to inoculate as many people in the priority groups as soon as possible. Schools will be a good place for that. Their community areas, the children are a high priority group, and we'll be focusing a lot on that initially. Also, we're going to explain to parents how they can help, how people throughout the community can help in these mass vaccination clinics. One other thing we're going to talk about is why we're having these discussions in the first place. There's a lot of information that's going out on a daily basis. Information changes on a daily basis, and we want to give you the most up-to-date information we have. Along with the Niagara County Department of Health, we'll also be having a panel of experts. We'll be having Dr. Thomas Hughes, the president of the Niagara County Board of Health. We'll be having Dr. Jerry Ulatowski, a member of the Board of Health and also a pediatrician, and Dr. Stephen Grayback, an allergist who is also a medical consultant for the Niagara County Department of Health. Also, we'll be having a superintendent from a local school district. These people are the experts throughout the community. Because we'll be concentrating on schools for a lot of these vaccination clinics, we want to make sure that the superintendents can give their point of view, their focus, and also we can explain to the public how you as a community, how you as parents can help us in these mass vaccination clinics. So we'll be going through a number of issues. We'll be leaving time at the end of that forum for people to ask questions from the public. As I said before, there's a lot of information that's going on a regular basis. It changes on a regular basis, and we want to make sure that you have the most up-to-date information as possible. There are also some websites you can access as well for the updated information. www.cdc.gov is a website that will give you the most up-to-date information from the Centers for Disease Control. Also, the Niagara County Department of Health has a website, www.niagaracounty.com/health. We'll be giving you up-to-date information on that, and that information is updated on a regular basis. So please make sure you visit those websites if you have any further information or want the most up-to-date information available. One other area I'd like to talk about is the emergency rooms. Most people recover from the seasonal or novel H1N1 flu without needing medical attention. In fact, most patients can be cared for best at home. We want to make sure that people don't go to the emergency room unless they're very ill. We want to leave the emergency rooms available for the people who need immediate medical care and not for people who might have mild influenza-like illness symptoms. Also, talk about some of the simple ways that you and your family can stop the spread of disease. Of course, the easiest way to stop the spread of disease is through simple things like washing your hands with soap and water. You need to make sure that you teach your children the proper ways to wash their hands as well. Of course, soap and water isn't always available, so we want people to use hand sanitizer when that's not available. Another thing people can do is practice good hygiene. For example, if you're going to sneeze, sneeze in the bend of your arm, the crook of your elbow, rather than sneezing out in the open. Of course, don't cough into your hand, sneeze in your hand, because that just continues the spread of that disease. The washing of hands, the use of hand sanitizer stops the chain of the spread of disease, and that's one thing we really want to make sure people not only keep that in mind for themselves, but teach their children the right hygiene as well. So those are some of the most simple ways you can stop the spread of disease. One thing we've talked over and over is if your child's sick, keep your child home, away from school, away from practice for sporting events, away from mass gatherings. Also, if you're sick or your loved one is sick, don't go to work. Stay home. Wait until your symptoms are free, you're symptom free for 24 hours, and then you're free to go about your regular activities. Well, we really want to stress the fact people don't go to mass gatherings. If your child is sick, keep your child home. If you're sick, please don't go to work. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Once again, we'd like to welcome everyone to the Community Summit, Community Forum, which will be held Monday, September 28th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Niagara County Community College, Building E, Room 140. Once again, thank you for your time.